Hi everyone, Vanessa here, alcoholic. Sobriety date's October 8th, 2017. And I want to talk about one of the things that when I got sober, I had not anticipated was for life to just continue being life, to continue having issues. And one of the things that I've had to learn to navigate is how to navigate life soberly, right? And one of the current things that I'm currently facing are some health issues. And there are a couple of things. Like, one, I've been feeling very bad. And that's why I was doing really well, like posting really regularly. And then there would be like a week or two or three off. And it's because I would get spontaneously really sick and like really just ill feeling, which I haven't really felt very much. I'm a usually typically healthy person. A lot of my physical health stuff has always stemmed from emotional or mental health issues. I know that's not the case for everybody, but I alluded to this in my last video, where as a child I was sick all the time and I was constantly being taken to doctors and stuff because I just always felt really sick. I always had stomach issues. I was always fainting. I always had nosebleeds. I was like not able to eat. Like I never had an appetite. I'm pretty sure I was anemic as a child. I can't remember. But I just had all these weird, and my body was always in pain. I know that it's because like in retrospect, I had experienced something traumatic as a child and my body carried all that stress because my little body didn't know what to do with it. And since then, that I didn't really get free of it until I started drinking, and that alleviated some of that pain and those problems. And then when I got sober, a lot of my physical health issues started to come to the surface, and I had a lot of gallbladder issues. I had a lot of just stomach issues. Weight gain was a huge issue. I couldn't really tolerate food, but then I also couldn't really lose weight. And then you add psych meds and everything else to that, and it's good stew of just disaster. And so it's taken a lot of years to get back in tune with my body. But as I started to work through, it sounds probably, for some of you, probably not insane. For some of you, maybe it sounds unrelated, but I can assure you it's related. As I work through resentments, as I let go of resentments, as I practice forgiveness for myself and for other people, as I began to operate on a more loving type of a space, my health started to improve. I lost a lot of weight. My skin cleared up. I had really bad skin. And I overall just felt better and I could concentrate and I had better just ease in living. And all my gallbladder pain and my stomach pain, it all went away. And then over the last year, and again, that's because I had come to a conclusion on a lot of things in my life that I felt free from. Over the last year, I've realized, the migraines have started again, the weight gain has started again, like some more confusion, dissociation happening again. And for a while, my hair was falling out, my nails were super thin and breaking all the time. And then recently, this year and this summer, I started to feel incredibly ill. And I even told my sister, I was like, I think I look really pale. I just didn't recognize myself in the mirror anymore. When I had gained like, I guess 30 pounds. And yeah, I guess I had gained 30 pounds. And I was like, okay, clearly, but it was like, it's literally seemed like overnight I had gained like 30 pounds. And like my eating habits hadn't really changed a lot. My exercise level maybe changed a little bit, but more than anything, my body just felt so sluggish. And I was like, why is my body holding on to all this? I'm a huge proponent of the anti-inflammatory type of diet, more the Mediterranean stuff. It has just been effective for my body, and it's usually like lower meat. Again, I have weird phobias around cooking meat. I just don't like it. I don't know. I won't eat chicken for the most part. And pescatarian probably, it probably fits me better as a description. But anyway, and so I just started feeling really sick. And for a lot of my life, I was told it's all in your head, it's all in your head. And it was, right? Like, it just a lot of my mental health stuff and addiction stuff became physical for me. And so recently, as I have been experiencing this, I'm like trying to stay cognizant of what is it that's going on right now that would be causing me this much exhaustion, just like dissociation, absolute lack of clarity and lack of concentration, lack of focus, absolutely zero desire to leave my apartment. And honestly, this is the thing that really, and I was, anytime that life gets kind of lifey, my go-to is to go on a road trip, right? And so I was like, I'll start planning a road trip, but I don't really leave my house because I don't, everything that I need is within walkable distance, or I get it DoorDash or Instacarted, or I just go without. I don't do a ton, right? My friends are all, I get a lot of my social interaction through Zoom meetings or just like FaceTime and Instagram calls, like texting, phone calls. That's how I get a lot of my socialization. And recently, what I noticed is I was like, I'll make it like a weekly excursion to leave my house to go to one of my favorite stores, which is World Market, by the way. And there's one that I really like, and then I'll take myself out to lunch and I'll go shopping, and then that'll be like my date, my weekly outing, right? Because your girl's also on a budget, by the way. And I was like doing that, and I started to feel super anxious when I was driving, and I would actually have panic attacks, which I have not had really very much. If a couple of videos ago, I talked about how I was waking up in the morning with like full-fledged, just full body anxiety. And I believe that this was around the time when my parents were selling the house that we had bought together. And so that had something to do with it, I'm sure. But this was after that. This was like after the relief of parents moved somewhere else. They sold the house, they got the money. Like everything was very peaceful. Everything was, I started talking to them again. Like everything had settled down, and I was still having these like panic attacks while I was driving. And I was like, oh, this is not good. Then the thing about this that's so weird is that I mentally knew that I was fine, I was safe, everything was good, but my body would not listen to me. And so while I could drive and I would make it back home and everything without any problems, but I was just like, what is happening? Like this is, and now I can't go on road trips if I can't even drive the 30 miles or whatever. Like I go to this specific World Market, which always has better inventory, by the way. If you want to know about it, let me know. But anyway, I was so caught off guard by that. And I was like, oh no, if this is going to start interfering, if this weird health thing that I'm going through right now is going to start interfering with road trips, this is unacceptable. I'm going to need to make some changes. And so I had to wait for my insurance to kick in at work. And I was actually just like this close to going to an emergency room because I could feel that something was very wrong. My patience has been at an absolute zero. I do not tolerate anything just currently. My, again, just desire to leave my apartments, to do anything fun has been like close to nothing. And I just felt like that was really strange, very weird. My inability, honestly, also to create this thing that I'm working on, my writing that I alluded to in the last, not alluded to, I straight up said that I'm working on in my last video, is something that I'm just like, there's something going on here because sometimes the writing is, it's not writing, right? And so I went and got some blood work done, and then they wanted more blood work, and then they wanted more blood work. And I was like, what are y'all finding out in my blood work? And I was started to look at the results, and come to find out I am like severely anemic. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And also very interesting is like my B12 is like through the roof. Like it's like off the charts. And I do not take B12 supplements. I was just telling somebody this recently because I just don't like the way it smells. Like I was taking them. I actually just threw away the thing because I did it for the week again in the summer. And then I was like, there is no way I can continue taking this. It's so gross. Like the smell still makes me want to vomit. And so, yeah, they're starting me on iron supplements and vitamin C. I'm part of a Facebook group for all of this, blah, blah, blah. And the bulk of my energy comes in the mornings, and then by nighttime, I'm like, if he wants a kind Vanessa, do not come at me. Because the thing about me and me being sick is that I have never been a graceful, ill person. I am not like wilting and precious. I am like, I don't feel well. And if you can come and make me feel better, or I need you completely removed from my periphery, like I just cannot, I do not have tolerance. I know that men get a bad rap anytime they feel sick, that, oh, they're such babies. I'm a baby. I want to be babied. I must be babied. We can blame that on my parents. It was one of the times that they would really give me attention or affection was when I was sick. And I'm like, oh, like I could do that by myself now. But otherwise, if you're not, just please leave me alone. So I'm not a very good sick person. And I kept asking the doctor, like, when will I feel better? And she's, oh, it'll take about 3 months to get your levels back up. And I'm just like, I did not get sober for this. I did not get sober to feel like I'm hungover, like deathly, like I have anxiety every minute of every day. Um, no, this isn't okay. So I'm saying that all because I have such limited energy actually, and I get wiped out really easily, actually. So even though I just know after I shoot this and post this, I'm going to go to sleep. But oh, actually, I can't. I have something I need to post tonight. Dang it. Okay, so all that to say that I might be scaling back on some of these videos because I do want to prioritize the books that I'm writing. The past couple conversations that I've had with Buddy, who is my neighbor who lives on the corner. He and I have been having some really great conversations, specifically around writing and like books. And just, he told me this amazing story about T.S. Eliot and how, and like relationships too, by the way. It was so interesting. I was like, okay, this got man is like this like wealth of information. Well, I don't know how old he is, but he's pretty old. Anyway, so he was just giving me all this cool like insights, and it's just somebody that I can talk to and like bounce ideas off of. And it's been really helpful to me to have these conversations with him because it's just, especially when I'm just in a state of feeling so like that. So weakened, which is never a word that I would use to describe myself, but this is a state of things right now. And I'm just wanting to show up as authentically and real as I can here. I'm just like, okay, if everything, I feel like sickness is a really good time to like hone in on your priorities, right? Because it's like, what I'm doing really anything that matters? And the one thing that has always mattered to me is writing. So I just want to continue to focus on writing that. I just have been waking up with a lot of clarity around what I'm trying to write and how it's going to be written. And it's exciting to me. I haven't felt this level of excitement since I dedicated myself to writing in 2018. And if I could tell you guys, and I think it has a lot to do with the seasons changing because that's when I started this commitment to it. And there's NaNoWriMo coming up, which is National Novel Writing Month. But I didn't really use it to write a novel. I used it to write like a memoir-esque type of thing, which I think that I might is going to be one of the iterations of writing that I do. Yeah, I don't know what else to say besides that. I hope that you'll still be here if I don't update as often. But I was doing like 2 or 3 videos a week, and my other series, the side series of being able to edit videos for like the podcast that I was trying to get off the ground. That's an absolute that's getting bumped to like number 3, 4, 5, whatever. Priority right now is my health, my job, etc., and then my writing. And of course, like God and AA and 12 steps and stuff like that. It's in there. I'm also still continuing my mystical sobriety course, which is again just changing my life week after week. And I love James Finley. If you guys have not heard of him, even if you're not an addict or an alcoholic, I highly recommend checking him out. Even if you're not like religious, the way that he phrases things, he's very conscious to make it a very open and welcome environment so that you don't feel pinned to this Christian narrative. And I think that's all that I really have for right now. If you guys have any questions, please do leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. I still need to reply to them again because I'm just like, oh, I want to leave thoughtful replies. And then I'm like, I'll get to that when I have some energy. And sometimes the energy is this, and then I go to sleep for 3 days in a row. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your night. Bye bye.